Welcome to the second part in this short series where we are taking a look at the island start for the Community Research Challenge for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. In the last part, we got our basic economy up and running for what it is. And since the end of that video, I finished off the main road out through here. And also I've sorted out my construction offices so that I can get a little bit more organized. And the other thing I've also done is if I come in here and press 1, I've created a road crew selection, a ground crew selection, and then a setup for the final part of the build. Simply because it gives me a little bit more control, because one of the things is that because we're going to be using primarily foreign workers, I need to keep a fairly close rein on what is actually going on if we're actually going to use our workforce to the maximum. Now in this part we've got to do several things. We've got our ship here, and the first thing I want to do is I've got the Iganov here and I've cleared the route to get the journeys, because what we're going to do is we're actually going to go beyond the borders, and this time we are going to load steel, some prefab, some bricks and some boards. And what we're going to do is deliver them to there for unloading. Set it to wait to unload. It's very, very important. Now the Iganov, you can see here, has a lot of carry capacity, but we don't have that much storage capacity here. And by that I mean, if we come in, what I've done here is I've kind of set up this, which gives us about a capacity for about just on around 200 tons each. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to go for the advanced setup, and we are going to select here, and we're going to reduce this down to 200. Now I know a lot of you will say this is not particularly very efficient, and to be honest it is not being particularly that efficient, but oops, come on game, let me get you down to 200. No, yeah, 200 prefab. Bricks, obviously we want 200 tons of bricks. As I say, I think 179 would be quite good, because I don't want to tie the Iganov up just in case I need some extra vehicles. So what I want to do is to be able to kind of unload enough that we can go, if we get down to 223 tons, so that means it's going to give you about 200 tons of all the individual items, and we're just going to get that going, and that's going to go off and get it. Now the next thing I need to do, if I come over here, you'll see that these buildings need mechanical components, so we're going to need another ship. And let's sort by value, as cheap as chips as possible. What I'm looking for now is a small ship that can carry relatively small amounts of cargo, but maybe that's a little bit too small, but that's expensive. I suppose we could get this, and what I want this ship for is to bring in mechanical components and electro components and cement. So we're going to buy that ship there. It's nice and cheap. I'm going to bring that one in as well. Now while these ships are out doing their own thing, I've got to do a few things. Now of course we've got the mechanical components, we need to be able to unload them. So the first thing we're going to need is some storage. And what I want is storage which doesn't need cement like that. We got this one here, it's a bit small. I don't know, Tudor warehouse. This is a mod by Nova, and what I want is I'm going to put this, no I don't want it here, we'll put this about here. I want this road kind of Actually, do I need it? Oh, no, maybe we'll put you just about there. That still leaves enough space for thing, but it's important that, yeah, we can get a workforce to it. And we're going to get the road crew on that. Just let the game speed up a bit. So what we're going to need to do is just get this built up over time, and we're going to get this built in as well, so that we got all this connected. Now the next thing we're going to need is power. Now power is interesting in the sense that there is a mod, and I've got to remember where it is. If I select power plant, oh, it's right at the top here. This is called a generator. It runs on fuel, and I think it was published in June this year. If you do a search in the workshop for it, you will find it. I want this to be again, I think what we'll do is we'll put, as long as we've got to make sure it reaches the everything here, so we got power. The nice thing about this generator is it doesn't need any workforce, so it's quite a good starting type generator. I think we're actually, we could, no, we're going to have pipe connections that side, so we're going to put the generator in, and just going to drop you there, and you can see it takes nothing to build. Now I'm not going to give it any fuel just at the moment because we've got nothing here to actually power. So what we're going to do now is bring the ground crew over to start doing the basic build here. Get that done. So we've now got this area done. Now what I want to do next is ideally long term we need to go over here. So we're going to build up in this area. So what we're going to need is a main road that will go out this way across the map. Kind of my instinct is to go out this way. Actually, no, there's one thing I do need to put in. I need to put in a free bus stop. I nearly forgot to remember to do this. We're going to put a free bus stop there. Actually, we'll put it slightly off center. Now the thing about the free bus stop, what we're going to do is we're going to tell everyone to go there, and I suppose we could make it optional, but I want all the foreign workers to go there. Now the reason I'm telling the foreign workers when they arrive, we don't have a ship at the moment, to go here, is that if you bring foreign workers in on a ship and say there's not much work for them to do, only the numbers that have got a job to do will disembark, but that means you've lost foreign workers. So the idea, so what you need to do is force them into the bus stop where they will stand around. Now what I've been told is that the foreign workers do not actually have a time limit on how long they stay, so as long as you capture them, you're going to be okay. What I'm going to do now is we're going to push out a road this way. Got to be a little bit careful here. How much gravel we got here? We got 95 tons left and 29 tons. I think for the moment we're going to push out a road like that. Put that there. Now in theory we've got the, once this is built, we've got the capacity to make gravel. Now what we got here is this ship has now arrived, so what we're going to do is go out here and we are going to load. What I want is, we want cement. That's the reason why we got the cement trucks. The cement will make reason there, and we need electro components and electronic components, and we'll bring you in next to the gravel boat, because the gravel boat will disappear eventually, and cement wait until unloaded. Now again, we're going to use the advanced settings. Certainly don't want you picking up that. We can just reduce you right down. We need the mech components. We've got 85 tons of mech components. That's probably enough actually, but that's the full capacity. Let me just go back to here. Get actually forbid this resource. Right. We're gonna bring in about 30 tons of that. Where's the electro components? We're going to bring about 30 tons of that, and more importantly, we're going to bring about 38 tons of cement in, and we will get this guy underway. Now we've got our ship in here. What we're going to do is set you to go there. Pick up steel, bricks, prefabs, and you should. I think this one's still. This one's still good. Oops. The next one up is prefabs. I think prefabs we probably only need to put. Actually, we'll do prefabs here. What we'll do is we'll just unload. This one is bricks, and the last one should be boards. Actually, I think these guys really need an assist. So copy you into there. But we'll remove that and that. What we're going to do is unload into here. Right, we've now got gravel and steel, so I'm going to get these guys here. And what these guys are going to do is start getting the workforce into here. But as you can see, this is wood framing. Are you part of... Did I add you to the ground crew? Let me just check. Oops. No. You need to be part of this. You... Now the next thing we need to build, the next thing we actually need is a ship that will carry passengers. Or not, it's 120 passengers. We want something with a bit of speed. Obviously we haven't got a bit of speed, so we're going to go for cheapness. We're going to get the Moscovich for passengers. Bring that in. Don't think these have actually anything for groundwork. It's steel and components, but what we really need is this built first. But we're going to need to bring a workforce in first to be able to do it. Yeah, no workers, no mechanism. Yeah, I should have brought the workforce in earlier. That's my fail there, guys, but that's okay. So we're just going to wait for whatever's necessary to come in, and then we'll be good. How much have we got actually on here? We got 194 tons of steel, 186 tons of prefabs, 155 tons of bricks, 194 tons of things. So, okay, welcome back. We've now got our ship with workers coming in, and we're let him dock. And of course, what we're going to do is go beyond the borders. We're going to pick up workers, and we are going to bring them into here like that. I'll just get you going. One thing I want to make sure is we need to get some fuel in there, because that ship will not fly if it doesn't have fuel in it. So we'll get some fuel into there. Wow, this guy's flying. Okay. I meant to intercept this guy because technically, well, we'll keep him bringing gravel in until we've actually guaranteed that this has arrived. So while that's happening and we're waiting for the ship to arrive, we're now going to move on to the next stage, which is the fact that we've got to produce what was it? We've got to produce concrete and asphalt. So if we go to mods, clear that, and I'm looking for a couple of mods by Nova. They are horrendously inefficient, but they do the job, but they will need power. That one actually runs on fuel. This one stores 1 ton of concrete. This one actually needs fuel, but it stores 10 tons of concrete. How much? But it doesn't actually makes concrete from gravel. There's the gravel storage. It also produces hazardous waste. I don't really want that. Consumption at maximum production. This one actually needs asphalt. That's no good. We got this one here. It says 1 ton of concrete for 1 ton of cement, and it holds 3 tons of gravel. This one's got 10 tons of gravel and 5 tons of cement, but we'd have to give it a tiny amount of fuel. I'm pretty sure this is Nova's mods. I've had over the years, I've used several ones, but now I'll give you an advance warning with these. These are very, very, how can you put it, inefficient. And we got asphalt, and again, this is by Nova. This imports, we got to import some bitumen for this to run, and this stores 10. I'm pretty sure that's the one, because what Nova did was he put some V2 versions in, because the original was not. See, a lot of these actually, this is the catch-22 way which you get with this game, is the fact you need asphalt to build an plant that makes asphalt. I don't like that. I think we'll go with this one as well, and we'll put you there. Now to build these, we are going to get the ground crew, work it all, get the kind of basic construction going. Right, our first load of workers are going to come in. Now if you watch carefully, we've got 26 workers on here. They will all go up to here, to the bus stop. Then they will pause. There will be a pause while the game decides what it's going to do. Right, we've got a construction site there. The rest are going down this way. and that's actually sucked up all the workforce. But what we're doing is building that, and more importantly, these guys are building this. But this is going to take 599 days to do the building. Oh, they went here as well. It's my failure there. Sorry about that, guys. Well, let these guys run out, then I'll suspend this construction for the moment. Because they... Alright, let's go suspend you. The foreign workers don't stay very long, so... Yeah, I put this down and I forgot that... so they went here. So if we can get the excavator on these... What they should do is come and finish the groundworks. In fact, what I should have done is done this, shouldn't I? Right, we've now got our second ship in here. Now we can't unload these for the moment until we've actually finished this. And the same with the cement. The only thing we can do with the cement is actually move them that way. What I need is where's the cement trucks? Oh, you've got to be here somewhere. There they are. You guys have got to move there. Now, what I will do is put in distribution office somewhere. We'll put the distribution office here. Well, not, of course, it's got to be a free one because we haven't done the research. I'm going to put... Okay. Put you there. It's definitely the free distribution office, yeah. What this one is going to do is pick up, when this is built, it's going to pick up the gravel from here and to deliver it to there. Okay. Right, we're going to suspend that construction. Suspend that construction for the moment. Right, here comes our next load of workforce. Let's get in the right position. Because what we need is this to be finished. This should only got one more day, and then that will give us our gravel output area. But the big one is this one here. We need as much workforce into here as possible. So how are we doing? By the way, there's no point getting extra open holes because there's only one pickup point here. So this type of start is all about patience. Okay. Hey, did you bring any workers in? Oh, there they go. So these guys are going to go here. Now, one thing about foreign workers is they will not go, once they finish the job, they disappear. They won't go back and say, oh, I've got another job over here. We're going to work on here. This is the reason why you need to really tightly manage your workers, because we had a big pile of workers went to that gravel store there. And what I want them to do is build this. Once we got this built, we can let them kind of rove around a little bit, because the next thing we'll need built, see this one here, and this needs mechanical components. This needs prefabs, and of course we've got the kind of storage drop off there. Then we'll build these once we've got the gravel rolling. Actually, why have I got all this up here? It's never going to be built, so get rid of you. One thing I will need in here is a cupboard hole. Where's the cupboard hole? Only got 2. Well, 2 should be enough, actually, to be honest. Because we're going to need to deliver the what we call it to this. So right, we've now reached a point where I'm just going to have to hang around while I actually build things. So what I'm going to do is just kind of wait here, and every time the worker ship comes in, I will give you a bit of an update of where we are. Okay, welcome back. This is just coming in here. What I'm going to do is remove that road there, remove that road there, because I've got 175 tons of gravel, so I want to be able to use it, but at the same time I don't want these workers going to the road. I want them, so they go into here, they wait, and what should happen, we got 23 workers in here, they should all leave, they should all go that way. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to have 69 tons of gravel, and get the road crew on that. And what you'll see now is we've got 24 workers here working hard. I'm slightly gambling that we might actually get this finished in this part, but I'll be completely upfront. I've never been exactly too sure how. It says working shift. I think when it gets to 8 hours, we'll just keep an eye on that. Well, it's basically they do an 8-hour shift. So if you keep an eye on them, once they start work, they do 8 hours, and then that's your lot. What I want to do is just build this road out. The reason I want to gravel this road out is because we are going to need to go out this way. And I suppose what I could do while we're waiting for that to be built, we can do a little bit of advanced planning here, because once we've got the ability to make things, and of course we're going to have the buses coming into here, what we're going to do next is go for the oil. Simply because, one, we need to make some money. And 2, I think it will be advantageous. Right, the best we've got there is 36%. It'd be advantageous because we can then use it to. Right, we got 37% there. I mean, I'm not planning on at 17%. Right, what we got over here? That's 34%. I think we're going to start with 3 of these, and we're going to push the road out. That's actually quite nicely in the right place. So we're going to push the road out that way, but we'll split the road there, and then we've got a junction here anyway, so we're going to come out round like that. Like that, just build the road out that way. And of course, one thing we will be aiming for is possibly doing that, but what we will need to do is put in some kind of storage. How much trouble now is that it doesn't need that much in the way of storage, so I think we can put in you there, but flip you around that way. As I say, this is going to be very theoretical. Right, what is the most advantageous thing to build? That needs 13 tons of steel, concrete and boards. If we go above ground, this is the game you've got to play. I accept that. That just needs steel and mechanical components, so we're going to go above ground simply because it's cheaper. Now we got a potential issue. How much oil is the house out here? we got oil out that way. So if I plan that, and then if we put in what I'm going to do is give it a bit of height here. The reason for that is going to use up, oh, it's a lot of steel. It might be cheaper just to go underground. Okay, just cancel that. We're going to go underground and couldn't care less about the expense, because it's like that pumps. Oh no, that's the wrong way. That's the wrong pump. Okay. Okay, let me just get here. How are we doing? Nearly there. Yeah, I put the wrong pump in here because we need merging pipes. We need this one. Actually, underground pumping station is 12 tons of steel, asphalt, 10 tons of concrete. This actually uses less, so that's the right way round. So you're going to go there. You're going to go there. You're going to go there, and that. Then we will go underground here. A lot of steel, but we're going to have to go for it. I think at the moment we're just going to start with 2 pumps, simply because the 2 pumps are going to be enough for what we want, and then what we're going to need is we're going to get this here. We're going to need another pump to go to there. So if I put in, because how many connections have we got here? Got 2 out that way, but if we're going to put a pump, if we go put a one to many about here, like that. And again, we're going to go underground here because my prejudices are showing. And that's going to be our revenue stream. If we're going to refine the oil, we'll branch off either here or here. Just make sure. Yep. So this is our next kind of big project to do. How are we doing here? How many? We've got 125 days to go. We'll just let this guy. Okay. I need to keep an eye on this guy. He's got 47 tons of gravel. I know I'm kind of bending the rules of the challenge, but then again, this still counts as kind of essential services in my view of the world. Right. Okay. These guys are so eager. I don't want any of this built until I want it built. Because if we don't build things in the right order, for some reason that's not. Can we join that together? Right, I don't want that built. Suspend that. Suspend that. Suspend that. Suspend that. Right. Now, something else we're going to need to build here, which is going to be a little bit controversial, is the fact that we're actually going to need a fire station. Come on, guys, you can do it. This time we will track their shift works just to show you the way it works. See, nothing happens until they get in here. And what you'll see is they work an 8-hour shift. So we're going to go there, and then as the 8 hours runs out, they're going to go away. Now we could get a second ship, but at the moment I just quite okay. We've built it right. Now the next thing we're going to do is continue this construction, and we're going to allocate you, and you. We're going to try and build all three together. So this is 143. This is 71. This is 491. This is 71. Because what I want is the open holes to come. Okay. Do you need boards? No. Okay, so we're going to have to sacrifice some boards. Not that it, because I cancelled that job. Discard all cargo. Don't want you sat around doing nothing. We need you on the job. Right, so now we've got this done. You have got to go there to... It's already assigned. Which one is that? Port 4. Yeah, of course it's assigned because it's their mechanical components, electro components, and you are going to be delivering there. And we're going to set a limit on the clear that. And at the moment we're going to go 50-50 on electro components, and now I can do that with confidence in the sense that this ship won't leave until we've actually used. This ship won't leave until we've actually allocated that 9-odd tons of cement. And so once this has been unloaded, what we can do is reduce this down. But we may have to get another ship and just dedicate this ship to cement. That's going to be anyway, so I think we're now at a point where we may benefit putting some fuel in here. We may need some extra vehicles as well, but at the moment there's no gain from this efficiency wise at the moment until we've built this. Let me just see if how far can you can reach that. So what we're looking at is building a small substation out about here. We're not going to connect it up just yet because I'm not interested in building it. What is this? This needs concrete and gravel. Isn't that a surprise? And what we'll do is we'll run this down to about there, to there, and hook you to there. Okay, this one, okay, we're just going to suspend it. I don't want it built just at the moment. So we've got that there. How's the Iganov going? Okay, we've still got 93 tons of bricks here. So I think, which is the one that's dropping off the bricks? What we will do is because, to be honest, all this is going to it's the prefabs. So you 3, And you can drop off the prefabs as well. This is set to gravel. Got a harvester there. We need... Right, we got workforce there, workforce there. Right, again, what I'm going to do is just cut the video here and I'll report as and when the workers come in, because we need this working here. This is now operating without issues, although technically it's not operating because there's no demand on the actual thingy. So what we're doing at the moment is just delivering what's necessary to be here. I'd like to get this bit built in this video. Now the next thing we're going to need to do is actually, we've got our tanker here. What I need now is another tanker to bring in bitumen, which is going to be it. So what we're going to do again is we're just going to look for value cargo ship. What I'm looking for is the cheapest. Another 700,000. Do I really want 700,000? I think what we're going to do is I just want to cheap. See if I can get something a bit cheaper here. No, okay, see if I can get something cheaper on the western side. Cargo ship. This is Iganov. Wait. Cargo ship. There's nothing there. So what I'm gonna have to do is look for something 1900. 1900 is quite important for me because that's something which I would need for the 1900 start. We're gonna bring you in here. And what you're going to do is import bitumen because we need that to make the asphalt. And then eventually what we may have to do is get another ship to export the oil once we've actually spelt. This is going to be a really big major investment, but there's not much else we can do. Okay, welcome back. There's been a little bit of delay because I forgot to allocate the covered hull construction office to the mech components. So I had one round trip where the actual workers did nothing, but hopefully they're now going to do something. They're all walking along here. Hopefully they're going to get into here. It's still going to take a little while to get this actually built. We're making a little bit of progress here though. But as you can see, it's going to be a slow process. I don't probably going to finish this first, but we're not going to finish this in this cycle because the 8 hours is up nearly. The last worker there. Actually, I think what we'll do is, can we see the border? Got a lot of more workers there. I think what I am going to do is we're going to push. We got our bitumen ship here, so we got to go out to the border, pick up bitumen, and I think we'll get to in here. Wait until unloaded, and we'll push you off. And what we're going to do is buy another passenger ship. Which one are we using? It's the Moscovich, isn't it? It's the cheapest. So what we're going to do now is that ship's going to go off and come back with bitumen to be able to allow us to make the necessary fuel. And again, we're just down to waiting now. We'll be able to get things done. And of course, what we're down now, we're just playing the waiting game. What I am trying to do is intercept this guy. And you can see again the jam that you will get here with this. And you can see he's slowly unloading this gravel, but we'll get there, because at the moment all we're doing is building roads, and of course we're going into winter now. I would like, if possible, to get some more things. So we've got no more steel. This is nearly full. This is nearly full. Okay, I think that this one we're going to put towards 100%. They've got 64 tons of boards. We've got 11 there. We've got 30 tons of bricks, but we got loads of steel as well. So I think what I am going to do is we're going to need some more vehicles. So I'm actually going to tell it not to load anything from there from the beginning. Actually it will load everything if I do that, wouldn't it? If I drop that, will the ship still stay there? Tell it not to. Actually, if we tell it to both to unload, that will confuse it, won't it? Yeah. See if we can stop this ship from going to the border. That will also, I think what we can do is tell it not to load beyond the border there as well, so it won't actually import anything here. Right, again, go to beyond the borders, come there, and you are going to unload there. Right, you can see now this is actually being built. Now what I don't want in here is any workers, so we're going to put that, get you down to 0. Where's our fuel truck? We're going to put fuel into there, and I've already separated out a what we call it, an excavator, and we're going to put the excavator in there. You've got powers. It says there's no kind of thing here, but we're just going to have to wait now for the the workers to do their stuff so that we can get this working. Right, so again, I'll see you once we're getting close to finishing off that. Okay, welcome back. We should now just be picking up the last amount of load. In fact, what I'll do is I'll get this here, and we'll tell you to go there. You will probably go to the border. I raise the line. Will that cause it confusion? And just make sure you go there. I mean, to be honest, if I lose the ship, it's not the end of the world. Right, so just to show you here, they're all going up into here. We've now got 19 workers here going out to here, and we've got another ship coming in. How many of you got on board? You've got another 33 workers. So now we've got the two ships working together. What we got here is our excavator sat here. You can see he's already quarried 50 tons of stone, but and of course we're not going to need workers for this. So okay, so we've now finished this phase, which means that we're probably going to lose these workers here. I don't know, they might go to there. I think what I might do is suspend that for the moment because there's no delivery there, and see if these guys will go into these. Okay, welcome back. What seems to be the requirement for these is the fact that you need to allocate the buses to this. So hopefully next time when this comes in again, because there are the road cranes there, we'll see whether these guys will go automatically. Remove that connection. I don't think we can allocate this? No. Right, see if these guys will. Okay. Yeah, they needed these road cranes to be here. So, well, you're probably going to go and finish off this, aren't you? But, yeah. So maybe we still haven't solved the problem. Right, so maybe we got to finish the gravel factory first before we can actually build the conveyors. If we can't build the conveyors, life is going to get very interesting. We may have to use a truck to move this 50 tons to there, but then we'd still have to pick up the output, which I don't think this has got an output. Anyway, we're just going to give it a go. We've got another lot coming in. See what they will do this time. Okay. Where are you going now? Okay, these guys are actually working in the factory, which I don't want them to do. Yeah, you can see we've now picked up the 16 workers from here with the bus. So for them to go to a conveyor, they actually need yeah. Okay, so we're nearly there with a few little. I must admit, this has been a useful learning exercise because I didn't realise that. Yeah, because I've built conveyors in cities before, and I've always assumed that this would actually be necessary. So what we're going to do now is wait for the next load of workers to come in. It's slowly draining away our money, so we're going to have to really try and invest into this infrastructure to begin with. Just want to see, this does, it does go to there. I say we're not going to worry about this one, but we will start building this in so that we can start making some money. Anyway, I'm just going to cut the video so that we can do this last connection, and then what we should be able to do is get the actual this actually up and running and working. Okay, welcome back. We just got another ship coming in, and hopefully this will provide the workforce to finish off this. And then what that will mean is that we will then have once we've got a workforce into here, we can start producing gravel. But of course it would be an intermittent workforce, simply down to the fact that these guys will do it. So where's my buses? Here comes the bus. You see, if we stand here, they will, I think they wait 12 hours here before they go. Now there is a way that you can flip-flop these guys by having 2 bus stations, and you can tell them to flip backwards and forwards between the 2. And if they do that, they won't actually disappear. They will stay here almost ad infinitum. We will be testing that in a later part, but at the moment we're just quite happy. We're 2 hours in, because of course we might need something like that when we actually get down to doing some serious building. So these guys will come in here. He'll probably pick up the whole lot, won't he? Okay, we've got another lot just arriving. And what you've got here, what we will do now is take a chance and put the maximum number of workers in there. What should happen is these guys will, I think they wait. Okay, so we got 7 now, which will go into here. And hello and behold, we have gravel. So what we need to do now is find our dumpers. How much gravel? You've still got 51 tons of gravel in there. So what I'm going to do is these guys, we're going to remove you from the Pioneer Port. We're going to tell you to load the gravel there, remove that. Whoops, I think I've just messed up something. Yep, haha. Okay, we'll fix that in a minute. And you are, it won't deliver. Oh no, wrong one, sorry. We're going to move the gravel there. Bricks, prefabs and boards. And what we'll do is we'll empty out this. We've got 51 tons there. We've got we'll sort out the distribution office there. Okay. What's happening here is these guys are just hanging around waiting for this to start functioning. So what we can do now is get this underway. I should have done this. This can just have that there. And you can see here we're now producing our own gravel. And what we'll do is we'll move what's left. We've got 31 tons in there. And we'll get all the gravel. That means we can remove this. And then what we'll do is we'll move up the distribution guys to here to supply the necessary stuff into here. And then eventually we will build this. But this video's gone on for way too long already, so this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.